So range anxiety then, is it a real thing, or is it just something that the media make up to put people off buying EV cars? Well, as with any anxiety, it can manifest itself in a physical form. So this can be in the form of increased heart rate, palpitations, sweating, nausea, sickness, hyperventilating. They are the physical symptoms of any anxiety that we might have. And the last thing you want is for your EV to be causing you more anxiety in the world, because let's face it, there's enough out there already that we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. I'm hoping this video is going to help. I'm going to go through some of the tips that I've used for getting around the anxiety and getting over it, and I hope that they'll help you as well. So the first tip I'm going to say is learn your car, learn to drive your car. I'm not talking about physically turning left and right. I'm talking about looking at the dashboard and seeing how many miles it thinks you've got left in the battery. And then trusting that figure. So as you drive it more, you will actually learn that the figures on most modern EVs is pretty accurate, and it does fluctuate quite a lot when you do travel between town work and motorway work. It will go up and down, but it is accurate. So learn to trust it. The big change for me was when I let mine run down to 5 miles left in the battery, and that was it. And that 5 miles, I know that if I get down to there again, that I've got at least, a couple of miles maybe left in it. But 5 miles, I know if it says 5 miles, it's got 5 miles. So that's the trust part of it. The second thing is use the apps that are out there. There are plenty of apps, but I use Apple CarPlay with maps. I use Waze, but my favourite is probably the Electroverse app. The Electroverse app is good because it allows you to plan a route, and it will ask you what's the capacity of your battery, what's its maximum range. Mine's about 200 miles. It will ask you what your battery consumption normally is. Mine's about 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour. It'll ask you where you're going. It'll ask you what battery do you want left when you get to your destination, and then it'll route it, and it'll then tell you, right, you need to stop off at these service stations to charge, and it will tell you how long to charge for as well. So that will help with your travel planning, but it will completely get rid of that anxiety, especially if you can trust your car. We went down to Cornwall earlier this year. I'm brand new to an EV, went down to Cornwall, used the Electroverse app, told it I wanted about 20 miles left in it, just so I could tootle around and try and find somewhere to charge while I was down there, and it did it, and it told me what services to stop off at, and it told me how long to charge for, because it knows how fast the charging rates are down there. And then when I got to my destination, within 2 miles, my car was telling me that I had exactly the same as what the app had told me that I was going to have. I think it was within 2 miles. Now that could have been because I took it off charge 30 seconds earlier or a minute earlier.
Convenient. I'm waiting. It's ticking again.
But it was accurate. It was pretty accurate. So definitely trust them. When we're talking about an EV car and we're talking about charging, we need to rethink how we charge our car a little bit. That will help. For instance, when I used to have a petrol car or a diesel car, I never filled it totally every time. I only ever did that if I was going on a long journey. So why would it be any different with an EV? You just charge it as you need it, really. One of the issues that can complicate it is you tend to know where the fuel stations are, the garages where you live on your route. They're quite big, they've got signs outside, they let you know where they are, so quite prominent. EV chargers are not. Unless it's somewhere big, like a Trafford Centre somewhere, or a service station on a motorway, yes, they'll be quite prominent. But there are EV chargers everywhere. They're popping up all across the UK. A lot of restaurants and pubs now have them that you can use. Aldi's and other supermarkets, Tesco, they've got them. But unless you know where they are or you look for them, you won't know. And that's where the Electroverse app really does come into its own, really, because it'll tell you where all these charging stations are, even though you may not know that they're there. And again, once you realise that and you start to use the map, or you start to explore, or you start to find them, yourself, then that's when that anxiety kind of disappears, because you know that wherever you are, you're probably not that far from an EV charger. Yes, it might be a slow one, but it'll still charge the car up if you needed to. And then when I do go out and about, and I do have to use public charging, which isn't that often, because let's face it, they're expensive. When I do have to use them, I put in enough that will get me home with a little bit of a buffer as well, just in case I hit any traffic or anything like that. But generally I put in enough that will get me home, and then I can charge up on my home charger, which is free, or 7p a kilowatt, as opposed to 59, 69, 79, 85p a kilowatt across the UK, which is a topic for another video. So my advice is, in a nutshell, is to drive the car, enjoy the car, learn how the miles that it's telling you is accurate. Use the maps if you're going outside your normal comfort zones, out where you might be unfamiliar. Use the maps for that. And then just generally get used to it a little bit. And then keep an eye open for these other chargers that you might see around you as well. So I hope this video was of use. Please like and subscribe to the channel. It helps me out. It also means that you won't miss out on any of the other videos that I develop. I've got an avid fascination with technology. Part of that is with my neurodiversity. That's another topic altogether, is neurodiversity, and how having an EV car can aggravate the ADHD if you are not sure where there are car charger ports. So again, that's another topic for another video, I think, another time. But yeah, please like and subscribe to the channel. It does help me out. As I say, you won't miss out on any of the other videos that I'm going to produce. And as I say, I am an avid fan of technology, so I'm into computing, gaming, retro gaming, 3D printing, astrophotography, EV cars. If it's technology, I've got a keen interest in it. And by subscribing, you'll just make sure that you don't miss out on any of those other videos that I'm going to release. So until next time, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.